With Helldivers continuing to just chug along and produce some really awesome moments and amazing content, it seems like there's just one feature that Arrowhead had introduced a while back during the DSS era or chain of events that they really haven't brought back, at least at the making of this video, which was the brigade system, or at least that's what they would call the sub-factions of, well, at least the bots. I think that's a whole feature that should be brought back because it actually adds some kind of flavor to factions and maybe livens up the experience when you're fighting a specific faction on certain planets. While I understand the disapproval or the not liking of jetpack brigade, because when you would shoot one they would all blow up in front of you, causing you to light on fire and it maybe make you die a little bit when you shouldn't have. I feel like just maybe, to be honest, that was just probably like a skill issue, but hey, that's just my opinion on that. I really do feel like this is something that needs to come back because it added so much variety to kind of how you can engage with if we were to expand on it more. Imagine if there was a whole brigade in the bots section that was just all Hulks, and their whole thing is that they're really good at defending a planet, and so that means that when we go to a planet that has the Hulk, the Hulk Devastator, the whole brigade, you know, that has a way higher attritional rate than any other planet, and to be honest would be kind of almost impossible for the community to get. These can be used as walls for the DM or the developers, depending on what you believe, to kind of play into the story. Because while a long time, or not really a long time ago, a few days ago or weeks, I did make a video where I was talking about how there is a lack of characters in Helldivers 2, and just because there's a lack of characters, there's also a lack of sub-factions. Something that I really liked during the Destiny 1 era days, because this used to be a Destiny channel, was that when you fought factions, there was actually a variety in how there was enemies. Even though they all did relatively the same thing, there was a different color scheming to them that kind of provided this feeling of there being a culture, a society to that. And remember, guys, while it is fun to just meme how they're just bots and they're just bugs, cultures and societies and, you know, quote, countries for these factions, they are just like Super Earth in the sense of their representation in the universe. And this is a macro outside. I know there's gonna be a bunch of face the wall comments after that, but obviously they are just bots to us and we just kill them. But you know, if we were looking at this as the outside of the community looking in, these are factions for the universe that should be treated like their own countries and their own societals, like societies with the bugs. So there should be things that can denote themselves from other ones, which brigades were really cool because then brigades focus on specialized things that faction may need. Or you can have gene seeds that I've always said, or, you know, broods for the bugs that are like basically brigades for bots. I don't want them to all be named the same thing because it'd be weird for bugs to have a brigade when they're not really a society or they're not really a country or anything like that. They're just like a hive mind of bugs. So broods or gene seeds make more sense to me, and I feel that you can do the same thing with bugs. You can have a gene seed where these specific bugs have the ability to, let's say there was the invisible brood, where now every single bug has the ability to go invisible like a stalker for not the same amount of time like a stalker, where I'm pretty sure it's indefinitely until you shoot them enough and then they decloak. But let's say like all the bugs could like cloak for like 5 seconds. So you have chargers that can go invisible for 5 seconds. You have like the worker bugs that can go, everything can go invisible for 5 seconds. Or you have the leaping brood, where almost every bug, maybe you don't want titans and chargers to do it, even though it'd be funny as shit if they could. But every bug except the hunters or the chargers and the wild titans can do the hunter leap, which would make it seem super funny and cool moments, and then provides variety to the kind of bugs that we're dealing with. It doesn't have to be crazy where they have jetpacks, but these can be treated as like the what if scenarios for factions. Like, what if there was a brigade that had no commissars, no hulks, but solely focused on making devastators? We can introduce new devastators, like a devastator that has like a chain sword or chain axe like a berserker and is all melee with a shield. We can have devastators that have like artillery backpacks, like a cabal from Destiny, that just shoots at you from a distance. This is just all things, and it's just all devastators. There's no commissars, there's no factory striders. There's obviously gunships because they're objectives, and there could be factory striders because that's also an objective. Relatively everything is just a devastator. There's really no normal commissar bots unless you're talking about outposts that have factories in them, or fabricators, I should say. Maybe those fabricators can even bring out devastators, which would make it even more crazy. And I know some people may say that, well, that's that's a little ridiculous. I mean, Devastators are kind of hard to kill, which at that point then I would say that you're self-reporting, because they are some of the easiest things to deal with depending on the guns that you bring. I mean, if you bring in a Diligence counter sniper or a Diligence just normally and pop them in the head, they're done. Constitution, they're done in one shot in the head. Most of the assault rifles, one shot in the, or a few shots in the head. Like, it just really depends. I think it'd be super cool to add some kind of character to them, and or maybe you don't even have to have them always assaulting. I would say that personally I would have brigades and broods have a set number of enemies tied to them. So let's say that the Devastator brigade has set number at least 10 million Devastators. After 10 million Devastators, that brigade has been wiped out, and whatever home world they come from, so let's say Aurora Bay is the Devastator brigade's home planet, that brigade is going to then basically start replenishing its numbers so that it can get back up to 10 million, so that it can go back to attacking. But if that planet is liberated, then the Devastator brigade is permanently removed from the map, meaning that they're dead now. We've killed them. And you can do the same with the bugs. You can have like 10 million part of the invisible brood, and until we find the planet where that gene seed is specifically being bred into the bugs, they're just going to keep having this invisible legion that is stealthing around. And you can have some of them even break the rules a little bit. It'd be cool if the invisible brood was able to attack planets that had no hyperlane connection to it. Imagine if, just like the Illuminate, they were able to attack a planet on the other side of the map, making it to where bugs can now spread from more than just across the basically eastern side of the galaxy. It'd be cool. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see stuff like this get added to the game, because it just livens up and makes it more of a crazy world that's going on. Because let's be honest, this universe is slowly becoming, at least as the galaxy map that I look at, is slowly becoming Warhammer, where war is happening constantly, and there's no reason why we shouldn't ante up the war just a little bit more. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think down below. Maybe I'm just crazy, or this is a horrible idea, or you think it's a great idea and you'd like to see it, or you have some of your own ideas for it. Once again, I would like to say thank you to all the channel members and Patreon supporters out there who are single-handedly bankrolling this channel. And that's it for you guys. Be safe, have fun, and I'll see you guys next time.